Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your host Kim.
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage,
Pull up a comfy chair.
because we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 66 of A Double and Dice, and today we have a special episode for you. I'm by myself today. Not really, but I'm recording by myself today because our very own Jocelyn is at Gen Con 2022. It is her first time there. Gen Con is one of the largest and longest running gaming convention in North America, and I believe it's always held here, but it's in Indianapolis, Indiana. And of course, WizKids is there. They have a booth, so they have all their gaming and HeroClix, and of course, one of our favorites, Dice Masters. So she has some scoop for us that she recorded there, and we've put it onto the podcast for you to have a listen to. And we'll talk probably more about Gen Con when she comes back and in our next podcast. But let's see what she's been up to and what she's been or who she's been talking to, I should say, and what other scoop she has gotten for our dice mastering gaming, I guess. So we'll send it over to her.
I am here with Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
We are at Gen Con. Have you been to Gen Con before?
No, this is my first time.
It's my first time too.
Really?
What did you do this afternoon?
We played Dice Masters.
That's awesome. And you played against me.
Yep.
And I was mean, wasn't I?
No, not really.
I drafted a rare Bizarro, which is max 1, but I put 6 dice on his card because I drafted 3 Bizarros. And then I did eventually win, but you got to buy a lot of dice for free.
Yeah, that was kind of nice.
And some of them were Jonathan Kent's with big defense, right? And they could absorb my Overcrush.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah, that was kind of nice.
It was a tight game. Alex played really good. So how many drafts did you do today, Alex?
I played in 2.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
What happened in your second one?
I won. My opponent didn't really attack, and so I had a lot more opportunities to attack with more characters.
Awesome. Did you draft any really cool cards?
No, I don't think so.
But you're going to get some promos out of it, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your win, and it was really fun playing you, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
It's Jocelyn here from Gen Con, and I'm talking to Logan. Hi, Logan.
Hi.
How are you today?
Good.
What did you do this afternoon?
Dice Masters.
Did you win or did you lose?
I lost. Both games.
Both games. Did you have fun?
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly fun?
Except for when I just died.
You just
At
died.
the end.
At the end?
Yeah.
Did you draft any cool cards?
I drafted the, I think it was the uncommon Bizarro. No, it wasn't Bizarro. Shazam.
The uncommon Shazam. That's a fun one.
Fast. And you can't put stun tokens on him, so.
Well, that's really handy. I played with a stun token on my team, and if I played to play you, then that would have been a problem.
Maybe.
Thanks for coming, Logan.
I just had a bunch of fast characters.
Cool. All right, well, have fun with the rest of your Gen Con.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
I am here with Rob from Dice Station Zebra. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Jocelyn.
So today we did some Dice Masters,
We did indeed.
and we were drafting.
Yes,
We were drafting Superman Kryptonite Crisis.
that's the set.
So how did your draft go?
It was good. It was a lot of fun. I lost the first game and I won the second. It was good, good fun all around.
And what did you draft?
What cards did I draft? I got a super rare Jimmy Olsen. Believe it or not, my 4th one so far in the Superman Kryptonite Crisis set.
That's a lot of jimmies.
It's a lot of Jimmys. I also got a rare Bizarro. However, I only drafted 1, so I just only had 2 dice, exceeding the max by 1.
Not exceeding the max by 5 like I did.
That's correct. I chose the side of good today, not the side of evil, Jocelyn.
It wasn't evil. Even Alex said it was okay. She said it was fun. She got 6 free dice out of that.
She did. I mean, when else are you going to get a chance to do that, right?
Never.
So there you go. You took your shot.
I hit it with my best shot.
Yep. Fire away.
So what else did you do today at Gen Con that you enjoyed?
Today at Gen Con, we also played a game of Wingspan. with advanced components. Very nice little meeples that this, I guess, third-party company is manufacturing. Anyway, they're very cool. You can check out the DS Zebra Twitter account where we have a few pictures up for that.
Awesome. And what's that Twitter account?
DS_Zebra, I believe.
You are correct. Well, thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Jocelyn.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
I am here with Nick Wally, aka Jackalope Spam, aka WizKids Judge at Gen Con. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Jocelyn.
How's your Gen Con going so far?
So far, pretty good. I've learned I need to check the maps before finding my car. But I've got my steps in, so that's fun.
That is really good. So you are judging for Dice Masters at Gen Con this weekend.
That is correct.
Have you judged before?
I have not judged in an official capacity yet.
You are somewhat of a rules lawyer, though.
I like to be, but I like to also consider that some things are ambiguous and should be left to WizKids to eventually rule. But I'll give an opinion.
That is very politically correct of you, that answer.
Yeah, I think someone asked on the Discord once of, well, who should we listen to? And, well, the answer is really it should go to WizKids first. And then we can interpret in between before they respond.
That's a very fair assessment, and I agree wholeheartedly. So today there were 3 drafts.
Yeah, the drafts were pretty good. The first draft had 8 people. The second draft ended up going over and had 10 people. And then it whittled down a little bit to have 6 in the third round.
Well, that's still a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, it was, all around it was a full pod for each on average, so that worked. Although Jimmy and I filled in when there were odd numbers in each, so it's a little overestimated, but still fun.
So you got to play in how many drafts?
I played in the second and third, while Jimmy played in the first one.
And how did your drafts go?
I think they did well enough. It's certainly an interesting set to draft. In the first one that I did, I kind of had a hodgepodge of characters. I had purchased the uncommon bat signal that gives range to 3 characters or all of your characters on the double burst, and didn't ever roll it, but ended up doing fine with just big stat Orion, Starro, the common that steals sidekicks and then spinning up, and really it was the brute force method of big stats, push, and go to town.
Fun times.
The third round I did basically the same thing but worse. I got the common, the common Supergirl, which is the 3 cost with the giant stats that buffs your opponent's sidekicks. And it turns out it's easier to roll a Supergirl than a sidekick, so I just kept pushing, and their 2/2 sidekicks still weren't enough.
Yeah, seems like it. Sounds like it was fun games, though.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting set. Go for the big stats and don't wall up, just keep pushing.
Yeah, and there was a lot of players that were new or hadn't played in a long time today.
Yeah, I would say that's probably one of the better things of today's turnout, is there were certainly some regulars that I knew were coming, but then there was a whole bunch of people that haven't played in a while and just kind of popped in and be like, hey, Dice Masters is back. Like they're trying to push. It is. And then they stopped by for a draft, or they played a little bit in the early times but never drafted, and so they stopped by. And so there were some people relearning some rules, and but mostly re-engaging with the game, which is all around a good thing.
I agree wholeheartedly. So today we are giving away Dark Phoenix OP kits as prizes.
That is correct. They are not for sale, as some were perhaps guessing from the one Facebook post. But in fact, they are being random pulled from the stack. If you win, you'll pull 2 cards, and if you lose, you'll take 1 card.
So all around, lots of Dark Phoenix OP kits to go around to get all these people their prizes.
Yeah, it should be good, and makes great pairing with the Superman Kryptonite Crisis.
Absolutely. Couldn't be better.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Jocelyn.
Talk to you soon. I am here at Gen Con with former members of Double Burst Podcast, who I just played Dice Masters against Zach in a Superman Kryptonite Crisis draft. Hi, Zach.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing just great. Having fun.
Yeah, how was your draft?
It was good. So I did one draft yesterday, and I got a win. I was close. I got her down to 3 damage, but she swung in and got me for the win. It was a good time.
She did, right?
She did.
He expected me to block the Orion, and I didn't. I took the 8 damage and went for the risk, and it paid off for me. And I was able to one turn KO here, but not the usual way. But we had a good time. You drafted some cool cards.
Yeah. So I didn't get really any clear direction, but I had a basic action, the throne car, right? Is that what it's called? To get Overcrush and just get some beefy guys and lowest lane to try to stop blockers. And I didn't buy the throne car, and I never got the lowest lane, but I got the beefy guys, and it, like I said, didn't quite finish out, but it was a good thought, good theory.
It could have gone either way very easily.
Yeah.
So it was really great to play you. And next to me I have Russ, the KO King. How's it going, Russ?
Good.
I heard that you found yourself a fancy Lex Luthor card that you liked.
Anti-monitor mainly.
Oh, anti-monitor?
Yeah.
The common one.
One attack, knock out as many as you want.
Yep.
That used to take like 3 cards to do.
Yeah.
Now it's really easy at 5 cost.
Yeah.
And awesome in a draft.
Yeah, it is awesome in a draft. It's
You
basically
just put
impressive
anti-monitor in, Batman Global. You have to fill the bunch to block mine, and I go through and win.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It is a really good card in draft for sure. I think it might even have a place in construction.
Yeah, I paired it with Harley Quinn. Common, I only had 2 dice. I think it's common that went KO'd. I didn't really need her, but like I feel like those 2 and Batman are commons and uncommons in the draft and are really good.
Yeah, I think the Harley's the uncommon because the common Harley's the 1 cost with no text.
Okay.
So yeah, but
And this one has a max die of 2, so in a draft, I mean, other than if you get Bizarro in a draft, from what I can tell, it seems silly broken.
Bizarro in draft is silly broken, and I can attest to that, having played it with 6 dice on it in my first draft this weekend. So I felt a little bad about poor Alex, Andy May's daughter, who was my opponent, but she got a lot of Jonathan Kents out of that deal. So
Yeah. Well, I think her brother went and did that the next day.
He did, yeah. Logan. Yeah, we chatted with him too. So have you had a good time at Gen Con?
Oh, it's been great.
Did you play anything aside from Dice Masters?
Not as much as I would have liked. I would have liked to play like Terracotta Army, a couple 2-3 hour heavy Euros, but ended up playing more like Scout and card games quite a bit. Lots of shopping.
Shopping is good. Hopefully you drove and don't have to pack too many things in your suitcase.
No, this is going to be an interesting flight home.
Hopefully your luggage makes it.
Yes.
All right, have a safe travels. And finally, I have KT Data himself.
What up, guys?
How's it going?
I am doing well.
It was really great to see you.
Yeah.
And finally meet you in person.
Yeah, that's the fun part about these conventions, is being able to see people face to face, and that's what I love about it too. So like, if anybody ever sees me at a convention, don't hesitate to come up and say hi, because that's awesome.
Did you play anything fun this weekend?
Played a bunch of, like, I actually liked Kite. It's a game where you're trying to balance sand timers and keeping everybody going by playing cards for it. So it gets super hectic and everybody just kind of runs around. So that was a fun one. I got to try a little bit of the One Piece card game, and that was I was happy and sad because I kind of wanted to draft with you guys, but then that was the only slot they could get me in, so I had to sneak in. But you
gotta get in when you can get in.
I do miss the dice rolling, even though I'm still bad at it. Like, I haven't gotten better over the years. I'm still bad at it. All energy.
Next time.
Yep, definitely.
For sure. It was really great to see you, and thanks so much for coming out.
Yep, good seeing you too.
Okay, it is now Sunday afternoon at Gen Con. The doors to the floor will be closing in approximately 2 hours, and all of the Dice Masters events are done. So I am here once again with Jackalope Sam, aka Nick, aka WizKids Judge for the weekend. How did the weekend end up going? We last chatted on Thursday.
I'd say it was a pretty good weekend. People came out, played a lot of drafts, opened a lot of cases, and, we were drafting the whole time, and people were having a great time with it.
Lots of super rare jimmies.
Yeah, super rare Jimmy. If you need one, I'm sure you can post up on the Facebook group because there's probably about 12 that got pulled in the wild.
Yeah, there were a lot.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I didn't see a single Mary Shazam, so.
I didn't see a Wonder Woman. Did you see a Wonder Woman?
Jimmy pulled a Wonder Woman in his pack.
Oh, of course he did.
Yeah, instead
Jimmy
of getting
didn't
a
pull
Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy did not pull a Jimmy.
Yeah, he pulled a Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is one that I'm still looking for, so if anyone has any trades, please let me know.
Yeah.
I did get a few cards I needed. I got a few rares. I got at least one super rare that I needed.
Yeah, the one I got to play a pack in, I got a super rare Robin, so I'm happy with that.
So let's talk about Rare Bizarro next.
Oh, yeah. So I will maybe redact my previous statements that Jocelyn was a meanie. Though I believe she did take home the winning most Bizarro dice on a team when she had Rare Bizarro.
Well, go big or go home.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. But I think the first 4 drafts were all with the Rare Bizarro, and then he didn't show up anymore. I think he got shy.
Yeah, well, he came out, he did his thing. There was lots of dice. I got one, Rob got one, Logan got one, Andy's son.
Yeah, Andy's son got one, and I think someone else.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, so.
Yeah, but he was there. I don't think he ever lost.
No. How could he?
I know.
I guess if he didn't roll.
Yeah.
That is a possibility. And lots of new faces.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest takeaway from the weekend. Like, tons of people came over and were like, hey, I used to play. Can I sign up for a draft? Yeah, sure. I had spare sidekicks, gave some away, thankfully, because I don't need them anymore. But new players came, returning players, some returning podcast players came. Spoiler alert.
I think by this point in the podcast, they've probably already heard from the Doubleverse crew.
All right. So not a spoiler, but who knows?
Yeah.
It was just great hanging out, chatting with people, enjoying the game. There were great games being played, tons of drafts, fun all around, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. I think one thing about this experience, and I chatted about this with Jimmy, is that drafting Superman is very different than drafting Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, I think from the draft perspective, in Dark Phoenix, which I haven't drafted too much, you kind of want to draft off of your rare. What was the rare that you got? Because they were all really good. And build around that. This one, you can kind of rare draft, but you can find some other stuff at the lower levels. Common Supergirl was great. Uncommon Orion is great. Common Starro is great.
Common Anti-Monitor is great.
Yeah, I think this one, it's just really all the big stats. You can find big stats on characters and bash them in the face.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, it was fun. I had a lot of fun. I got to play some new players. I got to play some returning players. I got to play people that I've played before. I got people I haven't played before. So overall, it was a really, really great experience. I don't think I had to play Rob at all for the drafts, which was kind of nice because that doesn't usually happen. We usually end up in the same pod at some point, so that was pretty good.
Yeah. I think we generally tried to avoid pairing people that came together. Just, play some new people.
And I collected a nice assortment of Hellfire Gala OP kit cards from the random draws, so I got pretty lucky on my random draws.
Yeah, they were not being sold, but they were given out if you were playing in events.
Yeah, so you got one for participating, and if you won, you got an extra. So I think I played in 6 drafts, and I think I won 3 of them, so. And
I think you managed to get both of the Hellfire Gala arts.
I did, yes.
And then Rob got both of them through random pulls.
Yeah, so we had some luck on the pulls. So we may not have pulled a Wonder Woman or a Mary Shazam in our draft, but we certainly got luck on the Dark Phoenix OP kit cards, which is fantastic because we have not been able to get those where we are in Canada. So
yeah, we went through a few of those kits just passing out the pools.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. So it was a really great time. I think overall it went really well. I hope that WizKids comes back to Gen Con and does something similar again in future because I want to come back to Gen Con.
Yeah, I heard someone talking that if they could, just go to all of them. Go to Gen Con, go to Origins, go to PAX, all of it.
Yeah.
So you said you would come back to Gen Con.
I would come back to Gen Con.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
It is an excellent experience. It is over the top. It is. I mean, we're standing at one end of the gaming hall, and it's a football field away, an American football field. The Canadian football fields are longer. It's a football field away, and then there's a vendor hall that's 2-3 times the size of this. It's a huge thing, and finally, for the first time, this is like my 4th time coming to Gen Con, I actually went to the stadium floor, the football stadium floor, and walked around and looked around. There's so much here that you can't do everything in one weekend. So make sure you plan a little bit ahead and then just wing it.
And that's what Rob and I did. We planned an event for every day and then some different events. Unfortunately, our RPG got canceled this morning because the judge was not available. So we didn't actually get to the stadium, which we were hoping to, but maybe that'll be next time. So yeah.
I mean, it took me 4 years, so.
There you go. Well, thanks, Nick. I really appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for judging. Thanks for being a good, supportive judge and helping people out. And we will see you next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Alrighty then.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Jocelyn.
How are you?
I'm alright. How you doing?
Good. It's Sunday afternoon at Gen Con.
Sunday afternoon, and we are tired, but we had a good time.
We did have a good time. And how were your drafts today?
Drafts were great. This set is really interesting because it's a grind. I mean, you can get a definitive win condition, but if you don't get a clear win condition, if both players build their teams very well, it's a bit of a grind. I find.
I was just talking to Nick about that, and the conversation was that stats are really important in this, and it's similar to what Jimmy said when I was chatting with him. It's not just about getting a good win condition card, but just stats and pushing the stats is important.
Absolutely, and there's some shenanigans in the set, of course, that in meta might not be, a viable option, but when you're drafting inside set, things like stun tokens are very much important, and removing stun tokens, I found. So anyway, the drafts went great, to answer your question.
Did you pull any super rare jimmies?
I pulled several super rare jimmies. Yes. Apparently there's a lot out there.
There is. That's the rumor. So if you're looking for a super rare Jimmy, as we were just saying with Nick, just put the word out there on Facebook, and you'll probably get 12 hits.
My total might be 4 now. 4 super rare Jimmies. I'm not sure. 3 or 4 at least.
I've only pulled 1, so I'm doing all right. But I did not pull a Wonder Woman or a Mary Shazam this weekend. Although I did pull a super rare Doomsday and a super rare Hawk Girl.
Awesome.
So. And we had a really great time at this Gen Con.
We did.
And we're looking forward to future events.
Yep, and we encourage everyone to come down next time.
Yeah.
And play some Dice Masters.
Next big Dice Masters event in person is going to be Memphis Worlds.
That's
in
right.
September 15th to 18th. So check out the WizKids information on that. And word from Jimmy, as you've heard earlier in this podcast, is that in the next week or so, they should have that fully updated for their webpage.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to that.
Fantastic. Hopefully we can get there.
Absolutely. I hope so.
All right. Well, have a great day.
All right. Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the WizKids Fan Appreciation Event, which happened on Friday night at 8 p.m. Up on the second floor of the Convention Center. And it was a sold-out event, so it was free to attend. However, you did have to have a ticket, and if you didn't have a ticket, they would only let you in if there was capacity. So it was quite full, and there were some people that showed up that weren't able to get in because they didn't have access to tickets. So that was unfortunate. However, on the plus side, as I mentioned, I live tweeted it on behalf of dm-north.com, and you could find that on our Twitter feed, dmNorthTV. Also, Rob was with me, and he was live tweeting on the Dice Station Zebra Twitter account, ds_Zebra, which included more content than what I shared. I focused just on the Dice Master stuff and some board games. Rob also included the HeroClix in his live tweets. So that is all available to you there, and you can see all of that content on the interwebs. I think the big thing that I took away from the fan appreciation event is WizKids' commitment to organized play. So as we move into 2023, you will find more organized play for all of their games, which include HeroClix, of course, as well as Dice Masters, and then also the new Onslaught, the D&D thing that they're putting out, D&D Onslaught.
So that came through loud and clear. It also came through loud and clear that they appreciate all the fans that they have, the people that play these board games, the people that play Dice Masters and HeroClix, and are interested in this, and they're trying to come up with new and innovative ways to do things. So one of the things that they talked about from HeroClix is like a display unit that allows you to display your HeroClix if you want to. Maybe you're a collector, but you don't necessarily play, and you need a nice way to display them. They're looking at different ways that they could sell displays, which I thought was really cool. So that was there, and then again that commitment to organize play monthly kits, and we can see that a little bit in what they're doing with HeroClix. It's being really well received, and I think that will bode well for the future of both HeroClix and Dice Masters and play in stores and getting people back into stores and playing in games, playing live, playing constructed, playing drafts, doing all sorts of things like that. So that came through loud and clear. They were really happy with the turnout for Gen Con. They hadn't done anything to this capacity at Gen Con. I don't know if it was ever or in a while or what the case might be. But they had their sort of differently formatted U.S. Nationals so that they could hold something there. They had drafts for Dice Masters and constructed events. They were doing learn to plays for HeroClix and for the D&D Onslaught, and lots of cool stuff was happening there. So, really what came through was that they were happy that we were there, that they were, I guess appreciative that we've stuck with them, and that more is coming that they will be able to share with us. So that was really good. From a Dice Masters perspective, they did chat through, and all we really talked about was Secret Wars. So Secret Wars, as we know, has been announced for a while. We are aware that there's the redesign of the cards, and that's the sort of the new launching point of what Dice Masters cards will look like in the future, and those are due out by the end of the year. What we did see that was new and different was we saw some of the new different art treatments from the origin packs that are coming. I do want to address something that I mentioned in the article. So if you head over to dmNorth.com, you'll find an article about the Gen Con fan appreciation event, which included some images of the cards that were shared on the slides, as well as some individual card with card text and card images that WizKids was kind enough to provide us so that we could put those out for you. In the image of the origin pack, it looks as though the Daily Bugle might be a full art textless basic action card, which doesn't make a ton of sense for a new player to have a card that's textless. So what I did have a chance to ask Jimmy a little bit later when we chatted about it, and he did say that it is not a full art card. It just has a different art treatment, and there's less, I guess, white space for the text and more art on that. So it will not be a full art textless basic action card in the origin pack, which, makes sense if it's targeted to a new player. So there will be text on that card. We also saw some new art and full art textless stuff for the Daily Bugle card that will be available in the regular draft packs. We saw the reveal of a new super rare Invisible Woman, as well as 3 new characters that we've never seen before in Dice Masters, which included Terrax, Agent Brand, and I can't remember. And I don't have it in front of me. But there were 3 new characters, 3 of them. Oh, Dazzler. Dazzler was the other one. So 3 new characters plus Invisible Woman, and we got to see her super rare, which is a much stronger card than what we had seen in previous. So from a Dice Masters perspective, that was pretty good. They then moved on and started talking about board games and things like that. So overall, it was a really great event. And once again, thanks to WizKids for putting that on. And that's the wrap on the fan appreciation event. If you haven't checked out the article, again, I would encourage you to head over to dm-north.com to check it out. Thank you. I am at Gen Con with Jimmy O'Brien from WizKids, who has a new title. You had a fancy new title on that slide at the fan appreciation event.
Senior project manager. Just old.
Senior project manager. That's awesome. So congratulations.
Thank
if that's
you.
a promotion or if it's just a renaming, it's still good. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Dice Masters and a little bit about Gen Con. So first off, how have you thought Gen Con's gone so far?
I'm really happy with how Gen Con's gone for us. You know, the booth has been buzzing with people getting demos. It's been busy for sales. You know, people are coming by and saying nice things about the product. It's really everything we could ask for.
And from an event perspective, how did the events go?
I'm very happy with how the events have gone. I think the whole team is. The fact that the Onslaught Learn to Plays have been just jam-packed. The fact that the HeroClix Learn to Plays have been busier than expected. The fact that the Dice Masters drafts have been so busy. Just a lot of good news.
Awesome, that's fantastic. I've really enjoyed the Dice Masters drafts that I did, and I also got to play in some Clix events, which was fantastic. It's all been really well run. So thank you for that. So let's turn on to some Dice Masters questions. So Superman Kryptonite Crisis is the latest set that's come out, and we were wondering, there had been some hints that there might be an OP kit for that product coming. Is there going to be something, do you think?
I think the most likely case right now, given the release date of the set versus the timing of OP materials, is just that it's going to be DC OP and it's not going to be specifically tied to Kryptonite Crisis. I think when you look at the Dark Phoenix kit, it's pretty tightly tied to the Dark Phoenix kit, but it could have been named something else and it would still make sense.
Absolutely, that makes total sense, and that would be great. Does that mean that there might be another DC set coming down the line?
I can't say when, but don't say never.
Fair enough and very politically correct. With the Kryptonite Crisis set, we did notice that some of the packs had sticky tabs instead of being covered with plastic individual draft packs like we've seen in the past. Is that something we're going to see moving forward?
It really depends on supply stuff and costs and things like it. You know, we want to preserve the integrity of the experience for people opening boosters, whether it's to draft or to collect, and different things make sense in different ways. It's kind of nice that we get to run a test run. For some products and for some licenses, it's more environmentally friendly, and that's, you know, we would like to make those kind of changes where we can. So it's nice that Dice Masters gets to be the test.
Awesome, that's fantastic. So now we have a new Modern. New Modern just started about a week ago, and one of the questions we're hearing from a lot of our listeners is about the Infinity Gauntlet Plate Home Kit that was originally available through the WizKids store. It's no longer available through the WizKids store, and there's a lot of people that missed out on that one. Do you think there'll be an opportunity to release that again in the future?
There will be an opportunity to get that again, hopefully before Memphis for everybody. If not, we might even have it at Memphis, so that'll be nice. If you've kind of tracked the ins and the outs of the WizKids store, and this is a little behind the scenes, when the warehousing crunch of lots of people having COVID and all that was at its peak, we made the decision for the lower priced items to leave the store. So, you know, the HeroClix Dice and Token Packs, individual unpainted minis, and the Dice Masters kit are all good examples of that.
I like the behind the scenes stuff. Speaks to my personal retail back end experience. Okay, so speaking of Memphis World's coming up September 15th to 18th. We've had the room block released, so we have the dates. We know that they're going to start events on Thursday at 2. We're going to wrap up Sunday at 2. We can book our rooms at Graceland. Is there any idea when the rest of the schedule might be released?
We're talking on Sunday of Gen Con. I'm hoping by next Sunday that schedule will already be live.
Yeah, that would be awesome, and probably what I expected. I figured you guys needed to get through Gen Con and see how that went before you could get the rest of it out. Lots of stuff to do to prepare for an event of this magnitude and all of the different events you guys were running.
Yeah, I mean, we were hoping that it would be up in time for now so people could be talking about that schedule here, but it just didn't come to pass.
I mean, my recommendation is just book for the whole time, and then you don't have to worry about it.
I think so, yeah. In the worst case scenario, you can go do some tourism stuff in Memphis, especially if you weren't there last time.
Yeah, absolutely. And would that also include information about pricing? What we might expect for pricing for Dice Masters and HeroClix?
I think the pricing information should be there. If not, it'll be a fast follow-up.
Okay, awesome. And then we wouldn't be Dice Masters North if we didn't ask if there was an opportunity for Canadian Nationals. Will there be other Nationals or WizKids Open type events for Dice Masters coming sometime?
So 2023 we're going to be re-engaging with OP in a really big way, and so that's going to mean a lot for monthly kits for HeroClix. It's going to mean stuff for regional and national events for Onslaught, HeroClix Dice Masters. So it's tough to promise anything with precision, but our intent is to get stuff up and running again like it used to be.
Okay, that's fantastic and really great to hear, because I know there's a lot of folks that were interested in that. Just having played through the X of Swords storyline OP yesterday in an afternoon, if that's the type of thing you guys are thinking about for HeroClix and even Dice Masters, I think that would be really well received.
Yeah. I love the X of Swords program. It's the biggest and most ambitious program we've really had since War of Light. And the fact that everyone's responding to it so well here, it's a sign that we should keep our eyes open for opportunities like that in the future.
Hopefully you'll do it again in Memphis.
Hopefully, yeah.
Fingers crossed, because I wouldn't mind another crack at that. So what excites you most about the future of Dice Masters, Jimmy? With what's coming down the pipeline, is there anything you can share with us that's the most exciting thing for you?
So I'm excited to see how Epic Basic Actions play out in terms of being something that's explicitly different from what we've seen before in Dice Masters. But I think it's been really cool in watching people draft this weekend that the draft strategies from Superman to Dark Phoenix are so notably different that in Dark Phoenix a lot of the time, and even in Infinity Gauntlet, it was abilities matter, but in Superman a lot of the times it's stats matter. And so it's cool that after having a lot of draft experience, people get to have something kind of fresh. And it's not just, oh yeah, I've been winning, I can keep doing the same thing, but it's reevaluating what's going on in the game.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. As the person who admittedly drafted 6 Bizarro dice for a rare Desiro Max 1, stats do make a huge difference, because if you've got a Jonathan Kent coming against that, like Alex did, my 8 Overcrush isn't going to do much against your 8 defense.
Yeah, absolutely, you nailed that.
For sure. The fan appreciation event was fantastic, and thank you very much for putting that on again. It was great to see what's coming for HeroClix, for Onslaught, for board games, for Dice Masters, of course. The Secret Wars redesign is getting a lot of exciting conversation happening out there, and the more I see of the set, the more excited I get. Having seen more of the cards, the color synergy with the energy types, I just can't wait to see that on the mat. I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, I want to have those cards in hand. Like that's a big part of the excitement when the digital becomes more practical is really exciting.
Yeah. And we're hoping to see that by the end of the year.
Yes.
Excellent. Anything else you want to add, Jimmy?
No, just thanks for coming to Gen Con and having a great time and making it a better event for everybody else.
Thank you, Jimmy. It was great to see you all 4 days of this event, and finally to sit down and chat, and really appreciate everything that you do to help support DM North and the Dice Masters community. So have a great day.
Thanks. Bye.
Well, Kim, I am here on the ground at Gen Con, or I mean at least in Indianapolis, or Indy as it is affectionately called. I'm not currently at the con. I am sitting in the Airbnb and recording you a quick update on how the con has gone so far. It is Sunday morning, and we are getting ready to go into the con for the last day. So Rob and I arrived in Indianapolis on Monday night. We flew in from Toronto on an Air Canada flight that included Eric Lang. We did not talk to Eric Lang. He was, headphones on and doing things, but he was here to promote some of his other games, and we saw him a couple of times around the con, but he was always busy doing things, so we didn't interrupt. But he probably thinks we're stalking him at this point. Anyway, so we played Dice Masters on Thursday. We did 2 drafts, and in the first draft, I drafted a rare Bizarro, and if you follow Discord, you might already know this. There was a rare Bizarro in my pack. I did not have a super rare that I needed or anything else in that pack that I needed, so I picked the rare Bizarro, and so now I have 2 dice. And then someone passed me an uncommon Bizarro, so guess what? I drafted 2 more dice, and then someone passed me a common Bizarro, so then I had 6 dice on my Bizarro, and that was all the Bizarros in our draft pod. So we had a draft pod of 8 folks, I believe, in that draft, and I was able to put 6 dice on my Bizarro, and that is 100% gross. I played Alex, who you've already heard from on this episode, which is Andy May's daughter, who's actually been a guest of the podcast in the past, and she's a smart Dice Masters player. This was her first time drafting Superman Kryptonite Crisis, and she built herself quite a good team. I was very impressed, and I did end up purchasing in quotation marks all 6 rare Bizarro dice. So what rare Bizarro says is once per turn, which has been errated to be once per turn, once during your main step has been errated, you may place a Bizarro die in your bag. If you do, your opponent places one of their dice on one of their unpurchased dice in their use pile. Alex picked on to what it did really quickly, because as you may know, Bizarro has Overcrush.
So she picked it up real quick and started picking up like any of her dice that had a high defense value. So the first 2 dice she purchased when I got Bizarro were Jonathan Kent's, which have the Superman stats. So the 8 defense on the top side and 7 defense, and then I think it's 5. That's a lot of absorbing of Bizarro's Overcrush. So we had a really good game, and she got me down to 5 life, and then unfortunately unfortunately we were winning Dark Phoenix prize cards. So fortunately, I was able to take her out there at the end with a couple of Bizarros once her field had been sort of cleared from the constant overcrushing. She also made a couple of smart plays. She let the first Bizarro through for 8 instead of overcrushing and leaving him in the field. So, kudos to Alex, and, thanks for being a great sport. We had a great time playing, and it was lovely to see her. In my second game, it did not go quite as well. And in fact, I don't remember what I played in my second game now, because that was Thursday and it's Sunday now. But I played something. I think it might have been Super Rare Hot Girl, because I drafted one. And that, again, is not a great... It's an okay Super Rare, but it's not a great Super Rare. It's not a win condition, so I kind of went all in on the Hot Girl, and it didn't really help me. So we played in a couple of drafts. It was really great. The second draft didn't have a full 8 in the pod. I think we had 6. And they've been running 3 drafts a day at Gen Con, which has been fantastic. So we played some Dice Masters. We saw lots of great folks. We saw people that we know from the online community and from Memphis 2019. So Charlie was here from Atlanta. Of course, Andy May and his kids, Alex and Logan, who you've heard on the podcast. Rob, of course, who came with me. Nick Jackalope Span, a friend of the pod, has been here, and he is the judge for all of the WizKids events. So he's been running all of the WizKids Dice Masters stuff throughout the weekend. So it was pretty fantastic. When we finished with our Dice Masters on Thursday, we had a short break, and then we headed over and we did an advanced Wingspan with upgraded components. So if you know Wingspan, it's sort of like a habitat building game, or an engine building game, if you will, where you're playing birds into the various habitats by gaining food and feeding the food to the birds and laying eggs and using the eggs to hatch the birds, and each of the birds have different powers that allow you to collect points. It's gorgeous. Like, the art is just absolutely stunning. It's super pretty, and it's a lot of fun to play, and every game is different, and there's currently 2 expansions available. And it's from Stone Mare Games, and it has been partnered up with a company called MeepleSource, who've made upgraded components for the game. So there are absolutely gorgeous things that you can replace your food tokens and your eggs, and you can get nests for your eggs instead of the little plastic things that they sit in, and replace your little wooden blocks to indicate your turns with actual birds that have been like painted, and it's just absolutely stunning. So I strongly recommend it. I found that it made a big improvement in the gameplay, just because it's just that much more beautiful. So we are purchasing some upgraded components to take home with us to play with our Wingspan at home. And if you haven't played Wingspan, I'd encourage you to do that. We booked that because, although we know the game, we wanted to see what the components look like and feel them, and that was a great way to do it. But we were also hoping to play with other people, because generally we only play with each other, which is just 2 people, which you can do. But we thought it might be fun to play a multiplayer game. However, unfortunately, no one else showed up for our sold-out time slot, so it was just the 2 of us, and that was fine. We played a game of Wingspan. We chatted with the Wingspan people, the MeepleSource people, and we had a great time doing that. When Friday rolled around, we had our day was generally was pretty loose. We didn't have a ton of things scheduled. We did one battle royal for HeroClix with the new X of Swords set that just came out on August 3rd. And then from there, we managed to get into the 2 p.m. Dice Masters draft. And in that draft, I played Andy May. So we had a good game. Andy won. I did not win. He was playing a Joker that when it attacks, it had range 2, but also I gained a life. So the game went quite long, but right to time. But we had a really good time, so that was fantastic, and I really enjoyed that. And then we had a break. So we ended up coming back. We found some food. We went and rested, and we came back for the WizKids Fan Appreciation event. So the WizKids Fan Appreciation event, which you may have seen, I live tweeted on behalf of dmNorth, and we've put out an article, and more information will follow. I'll do a separate segment on that. And then on Saturday, Rob and I participated in a HeroClix event. It's called the X of Swords Storyline OP 3-month event. So there's special characters, figures, and special cards and special swords in this current event. And it's 3 months, and it's starting later this month in August. But at WizKids was able to put all 3 months on in an afternoon. So we played Battle Royals, and we played 3 Battle Royals. Each Battle Royal was a different set of opponents and a different booster. And the way it works is you draft for your team, and then at the end, everybody puts all of the things back in the middle, and then you draft for your prizing with what's called the snake draft. So the winner takes 2, the second and third place players take 1, the loser takes 2. So if you don't win, it's better to lose, is what someone said to me at the beginning. And that was really, really fun. We had a really great time. Rob and I both won our first round in month 1, and then in month 2 and month 3, I came in second place. So that gave me 10 event points of a maximum of 12, and I took 545 points, which gave me 4th place overall, which was amazing. Out of the 16 players, I was very surprised and super humbled, and I had a really great time playing in that event. So from there, I was able to choose one of the grand prizes. There were 2 grand prizes, and one is Apocalypse and one is Genesis, and I got the Apocalypse. So I'm really really excited to put that. There's currently 7 of those in the wild. That will not last in a few months, so there will be lots of them. But there were 2 given away on the Friday event, and then 4 given away on the Saturday event. So, and then there's one that Scott Porter has. So that's the HeroClix. And then today we were scheduled to do a Dungeon Crawl Classics game this morning, but that's been canceled due to the judge not being available. So we're going to head down to the floor. We've got a little bit more shopping to do. We have to finalize our Wingspan components, and then we're going to potentially get in on some Dice Masters drafts, and maybe find another Dungeon Crawl Classics or D&D game or something to do. We're just going to sort of keep it loose and casual. And I'll be collecting hopefully some more audio that you may hear on the podcast. So that is our Gen Con, my Gen Con report so far. What I would say is we got a really nice Airbnb about 15 minutes outside of downtown by Uber, which has been nice. It's been quiet, and it's got a lot of space for us. It's been handy to have. But I think in future it does make sense to stay closer to the convention center. In some ways, because then you're closer to the con and you don't have to be Ubering in and out. But on the opposite side of things, all the restaurants are super busy. Last night we tried to sit down with Nick for dinner, and there was like a 45-minute to an hour wait just to get into the spaghetti factory. So we ended up heading back halfway towards our hotel by Uber and getting a meal there, and then coming back the rest of the way. So that's my Gen Con thoughts. So, Kim, I want to address something that happened to me when I was at the HeroClix Battle Royale on the Saturday afternoon. I played with a lot of great people, but one thing that I noticed about the HeroClix event was that there were no other people that I saw in the times that I was around the WizKids area that were playing HeroClix that I identified as female. It was a lot of men. And that's fine. We know that there's a lot of men in gaming and not a lot of females in gaming. And we're lucky in Canada that we have some great folks. I mean, there's you and there's me and there's Christine in the Ottawa area and playing Dice Masters. And in HeroClix, there's myself, there's Emily, who's the Canadian national champion of HeroClix this year. There's Amber and Asia. So there's quite a few of us in Canada. But down here at this event, particularly at the nationals level and in the event here at Gen Con, there did not appear to be any other females. I don't want to go out there and say that for 100% there wasn't, because I didn't see them, I wasn't in the event area the whole time. But in all the times I was there, I didn't see anyone else. And that's fine. That's one of the reasons why we do this podcast, is we're trying to elevate women in gaming. But there is an attitude out there that is a little bit challenging for me still, and I experienced it in the afternoon. So first off, I want to say I had a really great time playing HeroClix at Gen Con, and quite generally almost everyone was fantastic. And it's entirely possible that this one person was making a joke that just didn't land. But even this joke, in my opinion, is just not acceptable. So I sat down to play one of my battles, and another guy came up, and he said, I had a pen in my hand, and he said, oh, you must be an accountant or a wife. And I said, I'm sorry? He said, you must be an accountant or a wife. I said, why? Because I have a pen? I said, I always have a pen. He says, no, you must be an accountant or a wife. And I looked him right in the eye and I said, no, I'm a HeroClix player. And in that particular battle, I ended up taking second place, and I was behind that person by 20 points. And had I had one more action or so, I might have taken that particular round. But I just want to put out there that that sort of attitude, in my opinion, is no longer acceptable in 2022. Women can play games. Men can play games. Women and men can play games together. People who identify as they, them, or other genders should feel welcome in these spaces, and jokes or otherwise comments about, oh, you're the girl, so you must be the wife of somebody else that's here. Those in my mind need to move on. That is the only time in the entire Gen Con that I felt that way. There were definitely more men than women walking the halls, but it was not like a 90-10% mix. It was probably something more like a 60-40, or on the top side, maybe 70-30. But generally, everyone was very welcoming. Everyone was doing their own thing. Everyone seemed very happy and comfortable with themselves. So that was the only time I experienced that. And I'm hoping that that's an attitude that is going by the way of the dinosaur. And finally, I am back on Sunday night at the end of Gen Con. The con is closed, my wristband has been cut off, and my lanyard has been put away for another year. And Rob and I are already planning our next trip and hoping that we can make it out here for the next one next year. It was a great time. We had a great event. Everything was fantastic. Everyone was really friendly, aside from that one guy that made that comment, and about women, about calling me a wife, must be a wife playing HeroClix. But aside from that, everything went really well. Everybody was really welcoming. Everybody was really pleased to see me, pleased to see Rob, pleased to see all of the people. Everyone had a really great time. So definitely looking forward to that. Our Sunday ended up with a couple of Gen Con Dice Masters drafts. So we were able to get 2 more drafts in. There were no super rare Jimmies pulled this time. We had a good time. I won both of my drafts. I got to play against Zach, as you've heard from the Double Burst podcast, the previous Double Burst podcast. I don't put up podcasts anymore, but I got to play against Zach, which was great. And then in my second draft, I was able to play against a newer player who plays at home with his son, and I apologize, I've forgotten his name, but we had a really great game. I was helping him with some of the rules. I did end up winning that game as well, but definitely it was a hard-fought battle, and we had a really good time. So finishing that, we picked up our wingspan components, as I mentioned earlier. We did a little bit of walking of the floor. We headed over and found our friend Jim Zub, fellow Canadian artist and author, for comic books who was there promoting some stuff, and it was great to see him. And then we walked over to Lucas Oil Stadium because we weren't able to attend our event there because our DCC judge was unavailable, so our event got canceled. So we got to go onto the field, which was really cool. It was really neat, and then we came back and we found ourselves some tacos and margaritas and called it a weekend. So it was really great, really great experience. Really glad that we had the opportunity to do it. I hope that if you have the opportunity in future to attend an event like this, that you will. I encourage you strongly to do so. It's a great welcoming environment, and yes, it can be overwhelming to new folks, but I would say just don't overload yourself with events. Give yourself a lot of time to rest and eat and drink and hydrate and have some fun, and leave yourself some open to casual events in case things happen, because there's spontaneous games everywhere and everybody loves their game and wants to teach you how to play it. So it was a very welcoming event. So overall, we had a great time. We hope that you've enjoyed this Gen Con coverage, primarily focused on Dice Masters, but a few of the other things that we did as well. And look forward to seeing you next time.
So that was really awesome. And we want to thank everybody who took the time out to sit with Jocelyn and have a discussion with her about Dice Masters, all the fun scoop we heard, spoiler alerts, but well, thank you for everybody who came on and chatted with her. And also big thanks to Jocelyn as well for taking the time out to actually give us all this information about what was going on at Gen Con and all the Dice Masters information, and taking out of her schedule to interview people and all that jazz. So a huge thank you to her, and yeah, we can't wait to hear more about Gen Con and her experiences, and what else she was up to there as well, other than, of course, Dice Masters stuff. Anyways, thanks again, guys. That was great. And what else has been going on in the Dice Masters? So I don't usually do the ending, so this is hope I don't miss anything here. But upcoming events. So weekly events. We have our weekly Dice Arena that happens at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on dmNorthTV on twitch.tv. So if you like to play Dice Masters, and 9 o'clock Eastern Time is a great time for you. Come on out, have fun, play. If you're new, Norries, come out. It's a great way to learn. The community is great. The people are great. So you can check all the information out on themes that we do in the Discord. Also, there is an event happening from our DM United folks. It is happening on Saturday, August 27th. It is an online event, a one-day event only. I believe... Now, this is their time, but I think it starts, and according to Challenge, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We may want to double check that, but that's what my Challenge is showing. It says 11 a.m. Eastern when it starts, and I believe it's probably going to be 4 to 5 rounds, depending on how many people they get. This is a full-on modern events. So the rotation happened July 29th, which was a Friday, and everything has been rotated out except for the 3 sets and any promo cards that went along with it, or up cards that went along with it. So this is pretty much a tournament that's all out, no bans, modern, probably like a test or practice or whatever you want to call it for the upcoming US Nationals and Worlds that's happening in Memphis this year, I believe in September 17th, 18th, I want to say. So yeah, so this is probably want to be the big tournament to really see what cards are, going to be the meta or what's going to be winning out there. So if you want to give it a go, if you want to check out all the details, you can go to dmunited.eu and look for Dice Fight XL 2022, and all the information will be there. So it's actually, we're already in August, so that's not actually far away. 1, 2, 3 weeks away. So I might be able to play. So I'm starting to build my team, and I have no idea what to build. So it should be fun just to see what people come up with and what combos come up with. So other than that, I'm not going to go through the dice bag today because I don't know if Jocelyn had gotten any information, but anything that we got from our last podcast, we will talk in the next one. And yeah, so with that, how do you reach us? You can email us at tripledpodcast@dm-north.com. You can reach myself on Discord. It's under Super K. And you can reach Jocelyn at JoceStitch. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram under dmNorthTV. We're also on the YouTube as well under dmNorthTV. And you can also find us on our website at dm-north.com for all your Dice Masters needs. So until next time, on a double and dice.